Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. I don't know, hosted by your two favorite gals, Sana and
Jackie. Hello, hello.
welcome back. Happy October. The months are just flying by.
And bye. We're now in the last quarter of the year. They're going to fly by with all the holidays and stuff.
Yes.
It's just kind of crazy. I don't know where the year went.
I say that every year.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a year that I haven't said that.
Yeah. Or like this year was supposed to be my year, but it's feeling a lot like next year.
Yeah. Also a common phrase, you know.
2026, I can feel it.
Yes. Things are going to look up.
Yeah.
Although, overall, this year wasn't bad.
Yeah. Have you seen those things on TikTok when it's like January me wouldn't believe like where September me is? Like, do you know like just like how like the year went? That's kind of how it felt for me.
Yeah.
I would not have anticipated what had happened. If January me would not have anticipated.
Oh, I get it.
100%.
What was I doing in January?
Oh.
More anticipated what's happening right now anyway. So.
Wait, working still in the studio, right?
Working in the studio too, but was I talking to homeboy? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
And if I was, again, anticipated what already happened.
Yeah. Yours was like pretty predictable. Mine did not think it was going to go down that route, but
I mean, thank God it did. Because if
are.
we saw in the last episode. Actually,
I
I got a few text messages about that salary. Just one. Yes.
From who? From who?
Friends on the pod that were like, what the hell? And I was like, I said the same thing.
Again, it was not set in stone. He was saying he was going to go do something different. I want to defend myself
No.
here.
People were also like, does he work? What does he work? A minimum wage job? Like they were also confused.
The military. So basically.
I think there's nothing to defend here. Even when Caesar agrees, there's nothing to defend. Because a lot of time he doesn't agree.
Caesar does not agree a lot of the time.
Yeah, so when he does agree, that does say a lot.
No, I will defend myself. Listen, you already heard it. If you didn't know, go back to last episode, listen to it. Yes, we're fine. Sometimes I do get sad, but not because of him. It's more just because like,
I would consider it a celebration.
Sure.
Out of poverty. You're welcome. So you should actually be happy. Yeah, you should be happy where you are now compared to January.
I'm not happy. But it's not even like it's about him, because I was like reading something about this. Like a lot of times, like when we grieve like a relationship or a situation, it's not because of that actual person. What could have been. And I think I also just like misconnection. That's it. Because I know we're probably gonna talk about that later. But because I'm like single right now, where like the only notifications I wake up to was like Postmates. I mean, when they're like, we have a deal.
Single or poverty? I think you're not in a bad place based on that, okay?
We're not going to do this. Anyway. All right. Well, what have you been up to, Sana?
Working. That's it. I did go to Knott's Scary Farm after years. That was last weekend.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was fun. I haven't been at Knott's Scary Farm in a few years.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Got on a few rides, got a little hee-hee-ha-ha.
Yeah. I don't do those things. I don't like being scared.
Nothing too crazy. But actually, it was me and a bunch of my guy friends, and we did get into some heated debates.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we did.
You against what? Like
6 guys. Me against 6 guys, and then asking about, my type and single, and we got into this whole thing. And
I mean, we'll have to have him on the pod at some point. Because it would be a really fun discussion. I'd love to wipe the floor with him. So.
I had to do it myself.
I know. It was only you.
The height was a big one. If all that are wondering why girls don't want a short guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my alternative was the same thing as guys not wanting a fat girl. So it's like, you guys judge us for it.
100%.
You do the same thing.
100%. Let's not get into it.
It's not, but we will another day.
Yeah. But yeah, for sure. We'll get into it just at a different time.
Yes.
How's the At a Bar September going for you?
I sat at one bar. I'm also not drinking right now, but I sat at one bar and this is actually really funny because I don't even think I've told my sister this. But I'm at the age now where I feel like I should not be at the bar because the group of guys next to us started talking to us, and they looked young. Like they looked like they were in their 20s, but I didn't know how low in their 20s. But they were the taillights, so they started talking to us or whatever. And one of them started following my friend on IG, and lo and behold, the mutual friend is my sister. So, and she's 19. So,
oh my God, I love it.
Yeah. You know, that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's how that's going.
Yeah, that's how that's going.
Yeah, same. I've sat at 2 bars.
We tried.
No, we're going to continue it, you know, because football season, and I think this is kind of like going to be a goal for me, is I'm going to force myself to get out of the house once a week. That's not workout related, or to come do the pod. Or go do like
just not even once a week.
Yeah, or like grocery shopping, like something that is like actually focused on putting myself out there. I think that's what I'm gonna like try to do, because I can't go back on the apps. It's just like it's too much. I have no desire.
I think sometimes to just accept my fate.
Yeah, that too. I mean, listen, you know, Jesus, if I'm meant to die alone, just say it. Or if you ran out of men, just say it.
I think he is.
How dare you right now?
To all of us.
To everyone.
Yeah.
God's like shaking his head, like not gonna happen. Mm-mm.
No. Not to you, to all of us.
No, but yeah, I think that's one of my goals is for the month of October is I'm going to once a week. We'll see how it goes. Because I say that now. It's just so, I don't know how you feel about this, but I just get even the thought of having to like put on an outfit and like put on makeup. I'm like, ugh, who wants to do that?
Yeah. I think I'm having a harder time wanting to do that because I'm going to a scene where I'm probably going to want to drink.
Yeah.
And then I'm not drinking.
Same.
And then I'm also not trying to eat bad. So I'm like, well, bar food is also like greasy food.
Right.
So I'm like, well, this is kind of boring.
Yeah. So that's the hard part. I did go to, like I had said, that one Sunday where a friend of mine and I went, like I didn't drink at all. But yeah, I'm trying to do the same. Like,
and I don't watch the game, so it's like.
I actually do. I did. There's been some good games. I do pay attention. Not like I know what's going on.
Kind of do.
I kind of do because I grew up watching it with my dad. So, like I said before, my favorite little party trick is you give me any NFL team name. Like if you tell it like Tampa Bay, I'm like Buccaneers. Like I can tell you like vice versa. Like that's like my only thing is that I can. Yeah, if you give me the mascot or whatever. But yeah, I'm trying not to eat bad. Like on my little fitness journey, you know. Yeah. Last week, everyone marked a month that I have been consistent with Legree 3 times a week. Gal. I'm a Legree gal.
Yeah, I think for me it was a bust because I also didn't enjoy watching anything that was in my view of the men.
Yeah.
So that wasn't also great.
Last weekend, I went out and it was like dead.
Yeah.
Which, I think we have to go during the afternoon. Anyway, that's why with the Sit at the Bar September, my goal for October to like go and do like once a week, I'll just go with a book because that's like a good way
for sports bar.
Not at the sports bar, but like just like at any like bar type of thing. Because I'm trying. Here's my thing.
Well, I don't think we ever talked about this actually.
Oh my God, have we not?
Speaking of the book, because me and Jackie always wanted to do this, and then we never did it. So I had a first date with somebody last year, and I knew like. I was like, this kid's not going to be my type, but like, let's just see.
Yes.
Just see.
You never know. You never know.
So it was when I was living in Long Beach and we went to a hotel bar that was walking distance from my apartment. And then Jackie, as a spectator, sat next to me at the bar with a book, literally directly next to me, like as if like, honestly, we don't know each other. She's just sitting by herself next to me, observing like what's happening. She's literally, it's like this.
Yes.
And it's funny enough, the bartender starts talking to her and then like starts throwing me into the mix with her.
Yes.
And we're like kind of like talking shit to each other without talking shit to each other. And it was really funny.
It was so good. It was great. Yeah. We had to like have this whole like pretending that we didn't know each other. And her date was like obviously none the wiser. Yeah. It was really
It was really funny.
It was really funny. But that actually was a good night because, and the way that it happened is because I had told Sana, like, I'm going to try to do this. Like, I'm going to try to like put myself out there. Like the whole thing. And then she was like, well, I'm going on a date. So then that's why we ended up doing it.
Yeah, and actually the bartender paid for her drink.
Yeah. He gave me the drink because we started talking about the book, and he was like a screenwriter, and he was like trying to write whatever. I mean,
conclusion, that guy was actually not my type. So stick with your gut. You know, I usually know. Great kid, but I really felt like I was like on a date with a kid.
Yes.
He looked like
a kid. And I could hear their conversation.
Yes.
So it was really hard for me not to start laughing because I just knew, I know Sana, so I know how she's feeling about this situation. He was like his first time out with, I don't know, it just felt very like his first grown-up date.
Yeah,
like,
we would have felt very mismatched.
Very.
And at least he was self-aware, because when he walked me back to my building, he was like, so this isn't going anywhere, is it? And he's like, I'm just not. I was like, yeah, I don't think, I was like, I see a friendship or whatever. So self-aware.
Yes.
Know?
Yeah.
Because
he was really nice.
I was like, I'd even finished my one drink, and I was like, I'm actually pretty tired. I have an early morning, which I did, but like, if I'm the type that if I'm having a good time, I'll overextend my stay.
Yes. Yeah. We know how to push a time limit on
I'm like,
day.
Sweet Poo needs it.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I was like, you know,
well,
my yawning is starting.
Yeah.
Like, it was so nice to meet you.
Let's never do this again. But
I was like, I would love to have a friend, and you live down the street.
Yeah, you're like, really good.
Never spoke to him again. Yeah. Anyways,
I hope he's doing well.
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name either.
That's bad. It was only a year ago. My memory shouldn't be that bad.
You know, he probably doesn't remember your name either. So, you know.
He probably does, because he seems like he dates like white chicks. I was probably the first non-Lorner, Michelle, Sarah. Yeah.
Well, that kind of takes us somewhat, weird segue, not really, into our topic today, which is about timeline pressure.
Yeah.
And just because Sana and I'm at the end of my 30s. She's still kind of towards the beginning. But I think we can both agree that our timeline is not necessarily looking how we thought it was going to look. I know for sure mine's not. I don't know about you.
Mine's in areas, mostly in romantic areas. It's not. In all other areas, I feel like my life's always one area is fulfilled and the other area is not fulfilled. It's always like this part is great, but then the career is bad, or that I'm feeling fat, or it's always like...
It's like when you're like, your diet's good, but you suck at finding out, and then like vice versa.
Yeah, it's always like one part is empty. They're never all actually balanced.
Yes. I was going to say, I'd say the same. No. I will say it is somewhat kind of like that. I feel like fine in career to an extent. Obviously, I would like to do more. I would like to be in a higher position. Let's face it, more money.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of crazy out there right now with jobs. But then also, in the romantic arena, no. I think in the health arena, not really, because I've been like wanting to lose weight for forever. What else? I think the only other area, maybe like therapy, like myself, like I feel much better. Like family relationships, friendships, super solid in friendships. But I think the biggest one is just, I guess,
I think romantic
for both of us. Yeah. Well, and with the romantic, like the family aspect of it and like kids and stuff, so it's like, because I'm not going to have one without the other personally. So
no, that makes sense. So I think we just wanted to talk a bit about on like, why does 30s feel like a deadline, that everything needs to be hit by this age? And there is a lot of pressure. From a lot of different avenues. Big one, obviously, social media.
For sure.
The amount of like memes or TikToks I see where it's like, when you're the only single friend in the group, or like when everyone's announcing engagement or all this stuff. And it's like, well, I made dinner last night, or
Yeah, that's true.
I put myself to bed.
Or it's like me just like booking another trip somewhere, because it's just, which isn't bad, but again, it's just everyone else is like on these like huge milestones and meeting them, and then you're like, hey.
Which is like so funny because we're a bridesmaid in a wedding later this year, and we had to get our measurements for our outfit. And I was like, I don't even have anyone at home to do this for me. I was like, I don't even have a dog to like hold the other side. Like, that's where I'm at. And of course, Jackie had to come and do it for me. But even in that aspect, I'm like, almost everybody in the chat like has a partner that can like do
Yeah,
it for them.
something for them. Yeah.
Or a kid or something.
Yeah, something. And then it's hard when like you're in your 30s and it feels like you kind of, there's just this, you should have hit certain milestones by that decade. And when you haven't, it's really hard. It's really difficult. And for those of you who have hit those milestones of like you graduated college in your 20s and then you have a career, you got married, you have children, you have a home, which are the three major, right?
Yes.
I not to say like, oh, you don't have any struggles. That's not what I'm saying, but it's a very different feeling of like
It's a very
feeling behind, which I don't know if you kind of understand that if you're not in our position. But it does. There's such a weight on like.
It's interesting because I think like we would feel like people like in our situation would feel behind, but then there's a lot of people that hit all these things and feel like they missed out on all this single stuff.
Yes, because the grass isn't always green.
Yeah,
right. There's always these, because we're not in a marriage and family, there's a lot of things that we don't see and don't experience that I think any one of our married friends or with kids would come on and be like, homegirls, like you don't get it. Like, this is where it's really, really difficult. But obviously just speaking from our situation, it just feels, but also just like the societal pressure that you mentioned, it feels like you are behind.
Right. I think also for me, it's become a little family pressure at this point. I am the only one that is not. Out of like my cousin. Thing. Like out of the females, mostly the males are too. So like now it's kind of getting where like I'm having these constant, like, you need to put yourself out there from like my family, or like you need to be dating, you know, do all this stuff, where it wasn't as bad before, but now that I'm getting older and older, like these topics keep coming up.
Right. Yeah. I think my parents have given up.
No, I think now we're just getting like a stronger, like almost every time I see my mom, she's like, let's swipe on the apps. Let's swipe on the apps. I'm like, I'm not on any apps for you to swipe on. But she constantly is saying that.
Yeah. Do you want to be disappointed for an hour, Anita? Yeah.
I mean, I actually entered a clip of her, which is because when I was on the app and I let her swipe, and she said no to almost everybody.
Yes.
And her commentary was hilarious.
Yeah. Her commentary was good. Because it's shocking what a dumpster fire it is out there. I'm sure both ways, male or female. But yeah, for my parents, all three of us, all of my sisters, all of us are not married.
I mean, at least they have one grandkid. My mom's like, I don't even have that.
Yeah, she has they have at least one grandkid. So I'm like, well, you know, thanks to my older sister for at least doing that.
Yeah.
But no, the three of us are all single. And I think my parents are just like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if they've given up on it, but or if they're just praying real hard that we meet someone. But in speaking of the timeline, though, do you feel like it's? I don't want to say like it's like real that like you should be hitting these things, or do you feel like it's just kind of a myth? Like it's like you don't have to necessarily hit all of those things within your 30s.
I think because I'm not hitting those things, it's opened my eyes in a lot of ways that, of course, I want to meet someone and I want to have a family, but I'm seeing so many people, like, even though I'm seeing people that are doing it by their early 30s or by their late 20s, I'm also seeing some people that are doing it in their mid to late 30s and are so happy and are still able to have a kid, or if they don't want a kid, but still able to have a great life. I mean, on the other side of social media, I feel like there's some people that actually tell you the opposite, where it's like, oh, I didn't meet the love of my life till this age, and like, you know, everything works out. And so I really try to tell myself that like my timeline is meant to be this way, you know, and in a lot of ways, I wouldn't be able to hit the goals I've hit, and I wouldn't have the freedom I have to be so flexible with my life and not have to worry about a kid or something, because especially the way with my job is right now and like having a business and stuff like that, you're almost on demand all the time. Like, if I had a kid right now, it would make things
very difficult.
Very difficult. Partner is a little bit more manageable, but still like it would be a little bit more challenging in terms of time. Like right now, I don't really have to dedicate my time to anybody.
Totally. You don't have to split it.
I don't have to split it, which makes things a lot easier.
Right.
So in some areas, I am grateful that maybe it hasn't happened yet. But then I think I get into it, I'm like, but is it going to happen?
Yes. That's the hard part, is there are times where you do, because I feel like I'm the same, where I look at it and I'm like, yeah, not that I'm like, oh, I'm okay with it. Like my timeline is my timeline. I still struggle with that. I talk to Jesus about that a lot. And kind of like the why. But I do look at it from a perspective of I was not ready. Like just even me going through like my whole like therapy journey, I was not ready. So even if I had met somebody, a few years back, it wasn't going to be anything tangible. It was never going to result in anything. I was just not in a place to actually be a good part. I thought I was, but I was not. And it's really funny saying that because it reminds me of Stupid Matthew. And he had said something about like, oh, like, I wish I would have met you like 15 years ago. And I even said it wouldn't have been helpful.
It wouldn't have been you.
It wouldn't have been me. The version of me now that you're getting is not what it was 50. That wasn't even what it was 5 years ago. So, but I do the same. It's in those like very quiet moments of your life when you're like, is it ever going to happen though? And it starts, to weigh on you. And that's kind of the beauty of social media, is that there's also the honest side of it, where I feel like I've now been able to see a lot of women say like, I too am like hitting 40 and I'm single, or like I'm in a unique position where I've never had a relationship, but I'm starting to see more and more people on TikTok saying, I've never had a relationship either. And I hate when I see like those 22-year-olds are like, I've never had a boyfriend. Like, you're fucking 22. Like,
we're also in the era of situationships. I mean, at this point, we must have a boyfriend,
right? Yeah, yeah. It's you have a situation.
I mean, they probably like, oh, I've had like 10 situationships. I've never
actually had like an actual relationship. Yeah. But I also feel like even I don't know, just the pressure of like the hustle, the grind, like like being the boss babe type of thing has maybe even pushed women into like.
You have to do everything on your own, be everything.
Yes. That like hyper independence in a way.
Which I think I definitely fall into it.
Oh, I fall into it. I fall into it hardcore. It's hard not to.
Considering the circumstances, yes.
Yes.
Because you have to be the one to do everything.
Yes, we have to be the ones. Like, I don't even have somebody to take my trash out.
Yeah, no, I obviously don't either.
That's kind of like where we are, is that we have to do it.
Yeah.
I also have like things from like my childhood where a lot of times I was made to feel like I had to like earn help, and I had to like figure it out myself. And granted, I know that I was trying to be taught like to think independently and to like help yourself. And like you can do it. You don't have to rely on a man, which like I'm thankful for, but also at the same time, I think it like just went too far.
Yeah. I think the circumstances of how society is too has made it that way, right? Or how the dating scene is and everything has made it even more that way for you.
Yeah, no, it has. Especially since I think we're seeing, again, from my perspective, because I'm a woman, so from the men that I'm seeing, we've had this weird shift because women aren't necessarily, like, women can provide for themselves. Like, I have my own career. Like, every bill I pay is from me. Like, I don't have anyone contributing money. Like, I don't even have my parents paying my cell phone bill, which like some do, which is fine.
My parents will pay my cell phone bill. That's because I actually kind of forget about it. I'm
you're
like,
oh, well.
That's the only thing they pay for. It's fine.
Actually, you know what? Someone does pay my cell phone, and it's my company. So I got a little sugar daddy there. It's fine. No, but it does. Like it, and the thing is, now we don't necessarily need men for the financial aspect of a partnership.
Although it would be nice.
It would be nice. We're not discounting it. But that's not what we need. We're not, because I feel like in the past, you would kind of maybe turn a blind eye to some of the things that they're not great in because of the financial, you need the financial security and stability. Whereas now we don't need that. So we're like, oh, what about character? And they're failing.
Yeah.
So you do become hyper independent. You start and I don't know, it also just becomes, I think, just second nature. I don't know how you feel about it, but
I think it does.
I feel like
I mean, especially within the last year, I've been put into so many circumstances that I had to deal without having a partner. I know you have friends and family and all that, but it is different having that support. I mean, you saw how many breakdowns I had in the last year of just not like romantic stuff, but just things that have happened. And it's like, would have been nice to have that support or someone to bounce ideas with and all of that.
Yeah.
But you just, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm super proud that I started something without anybody at my side.
Yeah.
But then that sucks at the same time.
It does. That's the whole thing. There's always like a catch to it, right? Where it's like, especially with like careers and you know, hustle and like having success, like it is great to sit there and say like, no, I built this by myself. Like I did this and I did it on my own. And yes, I had support and you had friends, but it's different that I didn't have like a man to turn to or a partner to turn to. Like I don't know, like I had to search out the answers for myself. I didn't have anyone just give anything to me. But again, would have been real nice.
Would have been real nice because there were things, you know, just when it came to the business and stuff of lawyer things, all these things where, you know, people had partners and I was the only one that didn't. And
or just even asking like, what do you think?
Yeah, what I think. And I didn't. Sometimes even being in these meetings and being always by yourself when somebody has a partner.
Yeah.
When it came to this business stuff and all of that, it kind of sucks because you always just like, it almost highlights it more you're on your own ship. I mean, thank God I'm intelligent, but it's that part. I mean, there were a lot of days where I'm like, damn, this sucks that I have like no one to go through this with.
Yeah.
Which it's like, people get it. Like, it's different than your friends and family. Of course I have that, but it's very different.
It's very different.
Like, learning how to, like, read all this stuff and figuring it out by myself, not, like, having someone who even might be in a different career or stuff like that, that could give me ideas.
Yeah.
And
no, because I've seen it.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I feel like I've seen it with married friends and I've like heard, you know, like if I've been around them, like I've heard their conversations where they start like talking about work, you know, and they're like, well, what do you think about this? Like it's just having that person to bounce things off of. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves actually is when people are like, well, look, you have friends and family. It's like, don't start. Like, no, it's different. It's different when you have a romantic partner. It's different when you have someone, and I think the difference is, which like I don't think a lot of people understand because you've had it maybe for so long, or you do have it in your life, you're not somebody's number one priority. You are not somebody else's person. That's really hard to not have. It's very difficult to have, especially in your 30s, because everyone else seems to have it, or a lot of people our age do have it, and when you're the only one, you really are kind of just left by yourself, you know? Whereas in your 20s, everyone's like that.
Yeah.
Everyone's single. Everyone's just like whatever and hookups and situationships and just doing whatever. Yeah, it's just all fun. But then the 30s, it gets serious. And I don't think people understand that. So,
I agree.
So it really bothers me when people are like, yeah, but like it's like, fuck off. I mean that in like the nicest way possible.
No, it's true.
But just
also when like I feel like, not that I don't know if embarrassed is not the right word and not loser is not the right word. But when where I'm in a group chat and everyone's like making plans, I'm like, well, honestly, any day works for me.
Yes. Yes. When everyone's like, oh, well, let me check with this, or like, oh, well, you know, little Timmy has this, and I'm like, well, I have therapy, but that's about it.
The amount of group chats that I'm like, yeah, that date also works for me.
Yeah.
Also works for me.
I'm free. Yeah. Monday through Friday.
And it's like they got the boyfriends, the husbands, the kids, and it's like, we'll have to check with this schedule and all that. Like, just like you said. And I'm like, I don't know what the word is for them, but sometimes I feel like...
You feel real loserish sometimes. You're just like, I don't know, you just feel like a dork just standing there, just like, I don't know.
I'm at your beck and call, honestly.
You know what it feels like to me? It feels like I'm like very eager and I have nothing else going on in my life, which is not the case. I understand that. That's not the case. But it feels real like that.
No, it does feel like that. I mean, I experienced it this week. I was supposed to meet up with some of my friends on Wednesday. I didn't hear from any of them. And all of them, 2 of them have kids. One lives far but has a long-term partner. And I was like, hey, we still meeting up on Wednesday? Crickets. And I'm like, I feel like the loser for even bringing this up.
Yeah.
And then the next day it's like, oh, sorry, you got really busy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, you can just say you didn't want to kick it.
Yeah, just been honest. No, but it does. It's not loser, but you
got stood up.
Yes, you got stood up. You got stood up by the friend group.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, you just don't have, and again, and I understand. I understand that peace and quiet and sleep and time to myself is a luxury.
I value that.
But here's what I don't think people understand about that. If you haven't had it for, like, if you haven't been in it for, like, the long period of time, like myself, I've been in it for my entire adult life. I'm going to be 40 in 8 months. So my entire adult life has really just been me. I'm tired of it being me. I am ready to be selfless. I am ready and wanting to be tired and exhausted by someone else.
Yeah, no, I get totally.
I want to be exhausted by kids. I want to sit there and be like, I wish, like, you guys would just be quiet for like 2 seconds. Like, I want that. I want that type of family chaos in my life. I want to sit there and be annoyed by a man right now. Like, that's because I'm done. I know grass isn't always greener, blah, 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 blah. But when you've been like this for your entire adult life, it's very different. You're just done. And I kind of wonder if, like, I don't want to say biologically, because that sounds stupid, but if you do get to a point in your life where you're like, no, I'm ready for it not to be about me. I'm just not one of those people.
No, I agree.
Because I think there are people, and like Christian, like he's emotionally unavailable and all that stuff. But I think he's a kind of a selfish person. Where, like,
people like that.
Right, where
there's a lot of men like
there's a lot of men where it's true, like, they just don't want, like, they say they want family, but I think if it, like, came in like a nice package wrapped in a nice pretty bow and was just like on a silver platter, then they would take it. But to actually have to be selfless and compromise and treat someone else like a princess instead of themselves, that's not necessarily what they want to do. Like, again, it would have to be that perfect package for them to accept it. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of women out there that are just like, I'm ready to not to be about me.
No, I agree completely.
Because I feel like if I didn't have the option to, like, just go out with my friends whenever I wanted to, I'd be okay. I actually am fine.
I've done enough of that.
That's the whole thing.
Also, they're busy now.
Yes, they're all busy.
I'm not even seeing them that much.
Sana just got stood up.
Yeah, honestly.
No, but it's true.
I mean, I don't take it personally.
Yeah, no, true. But
this is where it's when I get talked to you feel like the loser. It's like, I had nothing going on.
Yeah, I've done that. I don't even have a hamster to take care of. Like, it's just, I don't know.
It is. But I get it, because there are times because I do sometimes have some crazy, busy, long days, and I'm like, I love that I go home to nothing. But I agree with you. I would rather have the something than the nothing.
Yes. So again, I understand I don't have it, so it is very easy for me to say, everyone take this with a grain of salt. But I will say that if you do have it, learn to cherish it, because as somebody who is like, this is all that they've ever wanted. Like, again, I think I've said this before, like, ever since I was a kid, all I wanted to do was, like, be a wife and a mom. And not that that's my only purpose, so, like, nobody get crazy about this, but that has been a true desire of my heart. So when you don't have it, it's really, really, really difficult. So if you do have it and it is something that you had wanted, I would say learn to cherish it, because it's very difficult when you don't. Yeah. Like, it's...
The area I've been finding it difficult lately, too, is in the grocery department. Because I feel like I'm one person.
Shit's expensive.
Not just that shit's expensive. Like, I have a hard time finishing things before they expire. Yes. Because, first, I don't want to eat the same thing every day. And second, it's just me.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of times I'm like, I'm not going to finish this in time. I'm having that issue a lot where, like, some things just, I can't. And I'm like, I have nobody else to make it for.
I know.
Except me.
Yes. I'm not really getting a lot of use out of the Costco membership. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? I will say because of the gas, but
I drive electric.
Yeah.
So.
No, it is.
Yeah.
You don't end up finishing it. And, like, I just did my grocery haul the other day. And of course, like, you do the whole, like, fridge clean out and all that stuff. And I had to toss out some stuff that, like, I forgot I even bought.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I'm trying to use everything, but yeah, it'd be nice
It would be
if
nice.
there was another mouth to feed.
Yeah. I wouldn't have to waste.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to waste. No, because it does. It feels like you're just like throwing money down the drain.
No, I feel that a lot. And I'm like,
and again, things are not
and I know that when I buy it, and I'm like, but maybe this time I will finish it.
Yeah.
I'll have this with myself every time.
One of the biggest lies you could ever tell yourself as an adult. Like, no, I'll finish the produce this time.
Yeah. The produce is where I struggle the most.
The produce is where I struggle the most.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really difficult. Because fruit, like I freeze. Come on over. We'll make salads. Yeah, because that's all we have. But no, it's, I don't know. It's just difficult kind of all the way around. I feel like even like with women, even the biological clock with the pressure.
Yeah.
Because I think there are some things within this timeline, this 30s timeline pressure that like are somewhat valid. And I think
The biological clock. The biological clock is so valid because there are people younger having issues getting pregnant.
Yes.
And it's because of the way our environment is.
Right.
There's a lot of toxic things. There's just so much that fertility has gone down a lot for women.
Right.
So I think almost I'm like, it doesn't even matter at this point. Like, I mean, some people, I don't know, because we know people that got pregnant so easily in their late 30s.
Yes.
So easily without trying.
Right.
But then I know people that have had to do IVF in their early 30s.
Right.
Or even late 20s.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. I would say the same. And it's something that's like slightly concerning for me because I have PCOS. So it's one of those things where I'm like, well, I already have something against me.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be 40 in April. And I'm like, cool. And now I didn't even know this existed until like, I guess, I don't know, this year, last year of perimenopause that you hit before you hit menopause.
What the hell? Which
which is in your early 40s. This is looking real rough for me, everyone. But it is. That's really hard too of like, okay, so do I freeze my eggs? Am I going to have to go through IVF? Like, and that's another, even like in the back of my mind, like a financial constraint. And, you know, am I going to have to pay for that? And what does that look like? And just having kids later in life.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like, I don't want to be the old mom on the block.
I don't want to be the old mom on the block, and I think about that too, but like if it is what it is, I'm also so I feel like I'm trying to keep myself in a healthy body, everything, so that I have the energy, have whatever.
Yeah.
When the time and if and when the time comes.
Yes.
So I think that's important, but
That is.
also everybody is having kids later anyway, so I don't feel like even if I were to have kids, I don't know, in like 4 years or whatever, like it wouldn't be this crazy gap.
That's true. It wouldn't be insane. I don't know. Like I think about it because again, I'm not even, there's nobody even on my radar, you know, like the person I talk to the most is ChatGPT. And so it's not even like I have somebody that like I'm considering like dating or like marriage is maybe possibly around the corner. I mean, truly, you never know. Your life can change in a moment. And I know God can do anything, but it's one of those things where you're like, okay, realistically, what does this timeline look like? And I would have to get married and then have kids, and you know, so it does. It weighs on me. That's like another thing where I'm just like, oh, how does this look? And then if I have a kid at like 45, when they're like 20, how old am I going to be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that's why you have to keep yourself healthy. I think then it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously anything can happen.
True.
You did your best.
Yeah, that's true. It's like you can only do, but I do feel that pressure though.
Makes sense.
Yeah, just having to like consider like things surrounding fertility and whatnot. And then along with like the biological, the body, just even like the pressure. And I don't know if this is actually even just for women in their 30s, like maybe even just like single women, but the pressure to like stay looking youthful. But I feel like there's a little bit more pressure when you're single because like you're still out.
I think it doesn't. I think it doesn't matter because the amount of videos I see online of people doing procedures and facelifts and like tightening and it's so crazy because like I was like talking to this guy that is a plastic surgeon and he was like, you'd be surprised how people like will go through like payment plans and all this stuff to like achieve it, like that can't afford it. And I think it doesn't matter if you're single or not. I think it is a society pressure thing where you just want to stay forever young. I mean, I think what's also boosting it is you see all these celebrities that are 40, 50, 60 that don't look anywhere like it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all getting things done. It's all accessible. So that gets in your head. And everybody's going after this fountain of youth. So I don't think it matters if you're single or not. Of course, if you want to be single, you're like the mentality, you're like, I'm on the market. I want to be presentable.
Yeah, I gotta like stay presentable.
I mean, just even through my business alone, there have been a few ladies that are married that have gotten work done in recent times.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there might be like a hint more pressure for those who are single in the 30s because you are kind of having to compete. And I mean, it's always been in competition with women. Society has always pitted women against women. And, you know, the youthfulness and then, of course, all that bullshit of just like, well, men like, you know, instinctively want to go after a young, healthy woman for babies. I'm like, that's bullshit. You go wherever your dick allows you to go. Let's just be honest.
Well, I also don't think even applies anymore because back to what I just said is you're seeing young women have fertility issues.
Yeah, so it's like it doesn't necessarily guarantee anything. Yeah. Again, that's why I'm like, that's
now
bullshit.
It doesn't. I think our parent generation's different.
Sure, I think the older generations, but that's why I say like you go on the date that your dick allows you to, basically. So, but I do think that there is that added pressure just for all women in their 30s and just having to look that part. And with celebrities, I mean, don't get me wrong, some of this work has been phenomenal.
I mean, Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner. Holy cow. I mean, round of applause. That surgeon is an artist. Leonardo da Vinci over here.
Yeah.
Michelangelo.
She looks great.
She looks great. Lindsay Lohan looks great.
She looks great.
Anne Hathaway looks great.
Yeah.
Can't stand her, but looks great. I mean, all these celebrities, like even the men, they look great. It's kind of wild.
I mean, technology's just getting crazier and crazier.
Right.
So,
but I do have to say that that's like kind of encouraging because like something that I always think about is like, how sad am I going to be when I'm older, like in my 80s, and I'm going to look back on pictures and be like, oh my God, I was so pretty.
Well, you can look like Kris Jenner.
Yeah, and now I'm like, well, wait.
Yeah.
Now with the technology,
it's not a problem.
I think we'll be okay.
We'll be fine.
But there's still pressure there.
I mean, I hate to bring this back up, but at a 45K relationship, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Don't do this, Sana. I
just got to like really nail it in so you don't do it again.
Well, listen, that was a complete, you know what? Can we talk about this later? No, but yeah, that's another reason. If you want me to look good, you're going to have to pay for it. So you got to have that money. How do you feel like you have, or maybe we need to like reframe the timeline or like the deadline? Because I feel like that's how the 30s feel. It's like you're on this is your deadline for everything. So how are you like maybe reframing it in your head, or do you even feel like it needs to be reframed? I mean, I think we can agree it needs to be reframed.
I think it needs to be reframed. I think here's a thing where I feel like social media, you see one side, but actually a lot of comforting I have found through social media is, like you said, finding people that are in the same boat as me, which I find comforting.
Yeah.
I see 30s as not a deadline, but honestly like a starting point, because your mentality, and I literally just had this conversation when I was at the bar, because when I was at that bar, when I was next to that table, there was this 21-year-old that kept insisting that he's more mature than a 40-year-old. And I was like, look, we have over a 10 age gap. Like, don't even try to find this truth.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And he kept going on about it. And I was like, you're not going to understand it right now, because I didn't understand it when I was your age. Yeah. I thought I knew everything in my 20s. I thought people that were older that told me this were like, yeah, but I'm smart. I'm mature. Like, that might have been like that for you, but it wasn't going to be like that for me. I literally was that person. And I was like, yeah, shut up. Like, I know everything. Like, I'm going to be the same person I'm going to be today that I'm going to be in 30.
Right.
And when I tell you, it is not the case at all, that you change so much, but you're just so much more well aware of yourself. And sometimes that can be the downfall when it comes to dating, because you're a little too aware. But I think it's the start of being sure of yourself. You also have more money generally in your 30s, more accessibility to things.
Yeah.
Most people's careers start booming in their 30s.
Right.
So I really think it's like the beginning of something great
Yeah.
versus the deadline. I know it can feel like a deadline in certain areas because we haven't hit that, but I lean into, everyone's timeline's different.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to hit the goals I have hit if things happen differently.
Yeah, I agree. I think that a few things. It 100% does need to be reframed. And we I think thankfully we're starting to kind of bust out of that timeline type of mentality that our parents, like Gen X and Boomers, had to deal with, because that's just what you did. And that's how it had been for centuries, right? That's just what you did. And we're no longer, we're not bound by that anymore, which I think is helpful. We don't have to live up against that timeline. And I also feel like, what else? You learn who you are. Like, that's what I think most people in our previous generations never got to do. They never got to experience and explore their 20s. They never got to explore themselves in their 20s and learn about who they are and their likes and their dislikes and their personality. Because you do in your 20s, you're like, I know everything. And who I am now is who I'm always going to be. And it's like, no, you're not, ding dong. And then when you hit 30, you're like, oh yeah, thank God I'm not.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think the 30s is when you kind of start. I know for me, I'm now in the twilight months of my 30s. I'm closing out that decade. It has been the most transformative decade of my life. I have learned to, give myself grace. I've learned to kind of embrace some of the messy parts of my life and not necessarily be okay that they're there, but learn to have grace for them and learn that there's pieces of me that are works in progress. I've also, I think, learned to just have compassion for myself, which allows me to have compassion for others. And like I said earlier in the episode, I was not, the person I am now was not the person I was, 10, 15 years ago, which thank God I'm not. I have grown and I've learned. I've made a lot of stupid decisions in my 30s. I've done a lot of things that were not great, but thank God I have decided to learn from them and, not just stew in the bitterness of it all, but learn from it. And okay, we move forward. We be better. I'm actually kind of excited to enter into my 40s, thanks to God and Botox. But I'm excited. I have I don't know, I feel like I have better and more sure footing now, and I don't know. I feel like there's also, life doesn't end at 30s. And I know that we had certain celebrities, even Oprah didn't start her talk show until she was 32.
Yeah.
I think Martha Stewart didn't start her company until she was either 40 or 50. Very successful people. It doesn't have to happen in your 20s. You don't have to be that wonder kid. You don't
have to have it all figured out.
Exactly. You can have grace for yourself. And I feel understood, because I've always heard, and I really always hated when people would be like, comparison is a thief of joy. And I'm like, ugh, yes, obviously, I would hate it. But I remember my therapist told me that, and I told her, I really hate when people say that. But she kind of reframed it for me of just, you have to think about it. It's not just oh, it's a thief of joy, comparison, but it robs you of being able to just even enjoy the journey that you're on and just be able to even enjoy the moments of your life that are enjoyable. That's truly what it takes from you, that comparison. So yes, social media kind of sucks because you do start to compare when you start seeing everyone getting engaged and buying homes, and you're like, I don't know, man, I went to bed on time, for the first time in a month last night. But also there's people out there saying you're not alone, which is really, really helpful. I think it's been helpful for me.
I agree.
And just, it's okay. Where you are is where you are. That's just it, no matter what. So, well, so there you go.
You closed that beautifully.
All right, everyone. Well, that brings us to our end of our episode. We hope you enjoyed it. I don't know. We kind of went everywhere, but
As we do.
as we do,
Sometimes I wish you could see the cuts that we take because sometimes they go in a lot of directions.
they go in a lot of directions.
That's just her and I when we speak. It goes in a lot of
A
directions.
million
But
directions.
thanks for hanging in there and
Yeah.
soon.
Catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.